Phil, Dallas, and I are staying in a hotel because our apartment complex is under renovation, under construction. Sung, Justice, and Derek, they went home. It's essentially our own little mini vacation. But it's been a weird past few days. I know I said a little while back that I didn't want to harbor any bitterness anymore towards people in the church, but I feel like my heart's still hardened in some way, and I'm still learning to let go. When I act on my anger, it definitely puts a dent in my relationships with some of the guys, you know, even other people as well. Being someone who didn't grow up in the church and just seeing how other people who have grown up in the church function, a part of me has this like innate sense of like pride to think that, well, they grew up with all these resources and I didn't. I know what the real world is like compared to them. Honestly, I think that's a stupid thing to say now that I look back on it, because everyone has their own circumstances and I'm not any more special than anyone else. Having that hardened heart and having this expectation that people around me should know what I'm going through is harmful, because honestly, not everyone's going to understand what you're going through, you know? You just have to accept that. You can't force that upon people. And I feel like I've been doing that, so yeah, I have to rely on the spirit and not the flesh, because my flesh wants to rip people's heads off, but the spirit says I'm supposed to be a peacemaker and unify people, not divide people. While I'm in this hotel room, you know, I've had a lot of time to reflect on that. Yeah. By the way, it's freaking hot outside and I'm wearing a jacket for some reason. I'm making bad decisions today. No, but it's just like I've been angry at a lot of people, because I feel there have been people who have been kind of invalidating literally like my depression, and it's really hardened my heart, and I really don't want that heart towards people, like towards my brothers and sisters, you know? It feels like every time I want to express what I'm going through, they want to give practical solutions, which is fine, but for guys it's like they just want to fix it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like me being a guy, I feel like it's easier for me to talk with the girls sometimes, because they are just willing to listen and dig at the emotions rather than trying to find the practical, you know, answer, which I don't need sometimes. I really just need to be heard, because that's what I value most, and I feel like that motivates me the most. It gives me more energy to be heard, and when people just tell me to overcome what I'm going through, I feel like it pushes me back a lot, you know?
I can do it.
Yeah, I've been wanting an event about that, because I'm like, I don't know, I don't talk to a lot of sisters about it, but it seems like when I talk with you about things that are like real and raw, it's easy to do that, and I appreciate that, you know?
I feel like my dad, he raised me like he would raise a son. You know, I was the firstborn daughter, and I was the firstborn grandchild. So sometimes when I feel down or when I'm kind of going through it, a lot of practical solutions are given to me. So I feel like, you know, I was raised by my family in a very like masculine way, and sometimes I felt more like their son than their daughter. I think that experience just gave me the depth of like understanding that sometimes being heard and being understood had way more weight than being given a solution. I believe deep down all of us know what we are meant to do and what we're destined to do and what we're supposed to do, but sometimes we don't want a reminder of that. We just want a reminder that we're still human.
I appreciate that, Kelly. Yeah, like I said, honestly, hearing someone else verbalize all of my inner thoughts about how I've been feeling makes me feel validated, so.
Yeah. Okay, 50.
I'll protect you, Emma.
And then how we should position ourselves. One should be on one side of the rope, and then the next person be on the other.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's another strategy.
Shout outs and then let's get out of here. Pray.
I don't know if I should be barefoot.
The goal is you have to get your the red marker here in the middle past your own flag. And Elijah, we're gonna need you to be fair because it's gonna get close.
Yeah.
And one team is gonna say we did win, and the other team's gonna say no, you didn't. But whatever Elijah says goes. Just kidding.
Three, two, one, go!
Tony, use your feet! Tony, use your feet! Come on!
That team wins!
Whoa! Emma, I give you credit because you didn't know how to go.
Well, we tried.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, we stayed a lot longer.
You guys did good!
We did a lot longer.
Yeah, y'all did good. That was a good try.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Great job.
So proud of us.
I wanted to ask you guys, how was that activity and related to the Bible where it says a strand of three cord? A cord of three strands
Yeah.
is not easily broken.
Strength matter, so you chose your team wisely, like who is strong. Spiritually speaking, you also want to find probably people that are stronger than you spiritually in the faith because they'll help you. I think sometimes we are easily persuaded that it'll be somebody that is similar to us, but in spirituality we probably want somebody stronger than us. So we become a team. It's not like he's better than me. It's more of like we're doing this together.
All my trainers, I have nothing in common. Usually it was never about like compatibility. It was about like they have a wealth of knowledge and I want to learn from them. So that is true. Sometimes you got to pick your team wisely.
I've talked about having patience and love before and how I've been learning how to love properly. But while in this healing stage where I feel invalidated and misunderstood by some people, my heart harbors so much bitterness because people are just so quick to speak and slow to listen when they should be doing the opposite, taking the time to actually listen to what people are saying, not just hearing them. And the reason I'm not name dropping anyone is because I'm not trying to ruin any reputations here. The point shouldn't be who the people are, it's the message. But scripture speaks clearly and repeatedly about the danger of having a hardened heart, especially towards others. Obviously a hardened heart is gonna close you off from compassion, forgiveness, even God. When your heart becomes very cold, it's extremely hard to reverse that. I actually came up with this analogy. It's called the frozen meat analogy. Someone else in the world probably already came up with it, but I just thought of this one day, and I don't know if anyone else thought of this, but let me read it. When meat is frozen, it's cold and hard. When you take frozen meat out of the freezer, you can't warm it up or cook it right away. It needs to thaw and soften before you can do that. If you try to rush the process by microwaving or putting it in boiling water, you'll damage the meat. It takes a lot of time for the meat to thaw until it gets to the right temperature. Then you'll be able to warm it up and cook it. In the same way, this frozen meat can be a representation of our hearts. When we have nothing but cold hearts, we resist heat and warmth. We resist the love that's presented to us. And when others may try to give us a quick fix or what they feel is the right approach, the heart becomes more resistant and damaged. It's on the person whose heart is hardened to take time to thaw by humbly being in God's presence without distraction, but also on the people who try to offer a quick fix to allow them time to thaw. And for me, I guess, I wasn't being given the chance to thaw and instead was judged for, going through depression, which should be treated like a medical issue. But even then, my heart has been so hardened towards others and towards God, and I just need to give myself time to thaw. I need to allow my heart to thaw, and if it continues to be hardened, it's going to get to a point where it's just almost irreversible, When your heart gets permanently cold, you walk away from God for good, and that's the danger zone. If your heart is hardened, think of the frozen meat analogy. You're welcome.